Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be sharing the cards I made using Spellbinders February 2023 Quick and Easy Card Kit of the Month. The theme is Spring Delight. I'll also be using the add-on die set called Spring Tea. It's available for purchase without a subscription. If you are interested in subscribing to the kit, I do have links provided in the description box below. Let's go ahead and get started with card design number 1. I will be using some card sketches for inspiration. This first sketch is from CARDSTOCK. It's number 45. And if you are interested in any of the sketches I use in this video, I do share all of them on my coordinating blog post. That link is provided in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. This lemon paper is my favorite pattern paper in the whole kit. I love that there are yellow and also pink lemons. For the background of the card, I'm using a yellow tone-on-tone pattern, and instead of just cutting that piece to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, I cut some narrow strips, since most of it will be covered up with the lemon pattern paper. That way I had enough to make 2 similar cards using this design. For the narrow strip on the side of the card, I have a green tone-on-tone design, has just a hint of yellow on there. Instead of cardstock, I used some Love from Lizi peel-offs around the lemon pattern paper. This is the Racing Green Mirror color in the pinstripe style. And I layered the rest of the pieces on some dark green cardstock. Put my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. And as you can see, I am changing up the card sketch. I do that quite often. So instead of that small rectangle where you could put a sentiment, I'm adding a circle die cut image with this fun lemon and floral bouquet. I did put a scrap cardstock piece on the right side before adhering it in place. For a sentiment, I'm using one of the chipboard stickers. This is Just a Hello. I'll adhere the sentiment in place in the lower right-hand corner. For embellishments, I'm using some mini circle peel-offs in the Racing Green Mirror color. Put 2 in the upper left-hand corner and 3 of the smallest size in the lower right-hand corner. I love using these for embellishments. They add just that little bit of sparkle or shine without the extra dimension. Then for a final finishing touch, I'm adding a little bit of sparkle to the lemons using a clear glitter brush. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The sentiment for the other card is Have a Sunshiny Day, and this is also one of the chipboard stickers. For card design number 2, the card sketch is from Mojo Monday. This is number 547. I selected 2 pattern papers, and I have some light blue cardstock for the background. I'll layer the green and white floral paper on some dark green cardstock. Then I'll add the sun pattern paper onto the blue cardstock. It was hanging off the edge just a tiny bit, so I did use my scissors to trim that off. Along the edge of the sun pattern paper, I'll add some Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the gold color in the pinstripe style. And I'm able to use some of the smaller pieces since the left side will be covered up with that green and white floral piece. Unless it's a super tiny piece, I always save the peel-off scraps. I'll wrap the ends around the back, put some ATG tape on the back, and layer this piece on the same dark green cardstock. Then I'll add the green and white floral piece on the left side of the card. Flip over this panel, put some ATG tape on the back, and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Next, I'll add a stitch circle die cut, and I did use one of the card bases that's included in the kit for the circle. And I have the linen texture side showing. The card kit does include 8 A2 size card bases, but I always use my own card bases since I prefer 120-pound cardstock. For an image, I'm using this fun little watering can with a couple of flowers, and I did pop it up using some foam dimension. Remove the release paper and adhere the watering can onto that stitch circle die cut. Using the same dark green cardstock, I cut a banner and adhered it in the upper right-hand corner. For a sentiment, I'm using another chipboard sticker, Be Happy, and I'll adhere that on the right side of the watering can. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For the second card, I used different pattern paper and also this adorable owl image and the sentiment thinking of you. For card design number 3, the card sketch is from MFT. This is number 313. I have this fun pattern paper with flowers and geese all over the background. I'll be layering that on some blue cardstock. For the large banner, I'm using some pink gingham paper. Cut a fishtail on the left side and I'll adhere it in place using some ATG tape. I'll layer my background on some blue cardstock, and this is cardstock from my stash. The kit does include cardstock, but I always bring in additional cardstock since I'm a little particular about the colors, and I also add a lot of layers to my cards. For the image box, I cut out this white piece from one of the card bases. I have that linen side showing, and I'm adding just a little bit of blue color to the background. It doesn't have to be perfect since most of it will be covered up. I'll layer that piece on the same blue cardstock, adhere it on the right side of the card. Then I'll bring in a couple of the die cut images. I have a goose with a fun gold bow and also a blue umbrella. I did put foam dimension on the back of both of those pieces. I'll add the goose down first and then the umbrella so it looks like the goose is holding that umbrella. The sentiment is one of the chipboard stickers, Hello Spring, and I will add a scrap piece of cardstock on the left side before adhering it in place. The chipboard stickers do have adhesive on the back, but I like to add glue as well just to make sure they stay in place. Using the same blue cardstock, I cut a small banner and I'll adhere it in the upper left-hand corner. I'll cut the fishtail first, then on the right side I'll cut in slightly at an angle, flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. I call this my whimsical banner. Then for embellishments on the card, I'll use some more Love from Lizi peel-offs, this time the mini stars in the gold color. I'll add 3 of them around the goose image. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The other card features lots of ice cream, and the die cut images are ice cream, a cake. The sentiment is happy birthday, and that's one of the stickers that's included in the kit. For card design number 4, I'm using the add-on die set called Spring Tea. It's this adorable little bunny with a teacup and lots of floral pieces. For the background of the card, I'm using this green and white floral paper, and I used that on a previous card. I'll layer it on some dark green cardstock, add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Using Spellbinders Essential Arches die set, I cut out this large arch from one of the white card bases. I'll adhere that in place using some glue. Next, I'll add a narrow strip of the dark green pattern paper that I used on a previous card. And now I'll start assembling the adorable little bunny and teacup. The card kit no longer includes the dies, but you can purchase them as an add-on. And you can also purchase the dies without subscribing. So if you love this set, it is available. I used some gray cardstock for the bunny. I inlaid the eye, the nose, and the cheek. And I love how the little bunny is just relaxing in a teacup. One of the die cut pieces is a paw, so you can have it holding onto the edge of the teacup. I'm using glue and also some of the double-sided adhesive tape that's included in the kit to hold all those pieces together. Once I have my bunny inside the teacup, flip it over, put some foam dimension on the back, and I'll adhere it onto that dark green tone-on-tone pattern paper toward the bottom of the arch. I also cut out some of the flowers using the same die set. I used a light blue color for the flowers and yellow for the very center. I'm using a pair of reverse tweezers to pick up the center of the larger flower, but for the smaller flowers, I'm using an embellishment wand to pick up that teeny tiny piece. I'll put 3 of the flowers to decorate the teacup, and 1 of the flowers will go on top of the bunny's head. For a sentiment, I'm using some of the puffy stickers that are included in the kit. I have the word bliss and also moments. I think the two work well together. They do have adhesive on the back, but I'm adding just a little bit of glue as well. Want to make sure they don't pop off later. I'll glue down the word bliss first, trying to get it nice and centered. Then I'll add moments underneath, more on the right side. To finish off the card, I'll add some of the die cut butterflies and also a couple of the bee stickers. Put the bees in the upper right hand corner, and the butterflies will go around the little bunny and her teacup. The pink one I'll put right on the edge of the teacup. And I'm only putting glue behind the body of the butterfly. That way the wings will lift up and have the look of dimension. Before adhering any of those pieces, I'm laying them all out on the card just to make sure I like the placement. And I forgot to show it in the video, but I'll also use a white gel pen and add a few highlights to the bunny and also the teacup. Once I have both of the bees adhered in the upper right hand corner, my card is finished. And I did make 2 cards using this design. For the other card, the background paper has lots of mugs and teacups with the little bunny. And I thought it would be fun to make a pink bunny. Now moving on to card design number 5. The card sketch is from MFT. This is number 626. I selected 2 pattern papers for the background. I have this lovely floral paper with lots of gold foil accents. And on the left side of the card, I'm using some of the pink plaid paper. For a little bit of contrast and detail, I'll add a Love from Lizi peel off next to that pink plaid paper. This is the pink color in the pinstripe style. I put both of those on a light green cardstock, then I'll layer it again on some dark green cardstock. Sometimes it's fun to use 2 different colors for the cardstock layers. I'll put some ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. For the sentiment, I'm using one of the stickers. This is Bloom plus Smile. The kit includes 4 sheets of stickers, lots of sentiments and images. Next, I'll bring in a few of the die cut images. I have this lovely picture full of flowers, and I did pop it up using some foam dimension. I'll adhere it above the sentiment. I'll also add a small butterfly on the handle of the picture, put glue just underneath the body, and I'll adhere it in place. Then I selected 2 of the heart die cut pieces, one in green and one in blue, and I do have foam dimension on the back. I'll overlap them slightly and adhere them on the left side of the card. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll add a couple of mini circle peel-offs in gold in the upper left-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For the other card, the sentiment is missing you so much. For card design number 6, the card sketch is from MFT. This is number 629. I thought this looked like a fun sketch to use up some of the narrow pattern paper strips that are left over. For the very background of the card, I'm using the white cardstock that's from the card bases. I have the linen texture side showing. Adding 2 strips of pattern paper. I have that dark green I used on a couple of other cards, and also a pink and white butterfly paper. I'll add the green down first, making sure to get it flush all the way to the left. Then I'll add the butterfly paper next. I'll put a gold Love from Lizi peel off on the right side of the butterfly paper, and I'm using up some of those smaller scrap pieces since I know I'll be covering up that area with some die cut images. I layered all of that on some dark green cardstock, put my card front onto a card base. Now I'll bring in 4 different floral die cut pieces, 2 in yellow, a white with a yellow center, and a pink with a white center. And I decided for this card I would keep everything nice and flat, so I'm not adding any foam dimension. I'll adhere all of those flowers in place following the design of the card sketch. I also have a blue butterfly, and I'll adhere that onto the large yellow flower. Spellbinders always has some small die cut images, and they're perfect for embellishments. In this card kit, there were lots of hearts and butterflies. For a sentiment, I'm using one of the stickers. This is a little hello, and the sentiment is in gold foil. I'll adhere that in the upper left-hand corner. Then for a final finishing touch, I'll add some more Love from Lizi peel-offs. This is the mini circle style in the gold color, using the smallest size and putting them underneath the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The only difference is the sentiment. For the second card, I used Just Because. Now here's another look at the 12 cards I made using Spellbinders February 2023 Quick and Easy Card Kit of the Month. The theme is Spring Delight. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. This is a monthly kit, so quantities are always limited. The only way to guarantee receiving a kit is to sign up and subscribe. And the cutoff date for subscribing is February 27th. Spellbinders has lots of other club kits available. They have several dies of the month. There's a stamp of the month and also 2 embossing folders of the month, and I do receive both of those. And I will be sharing cards using both of the embossing folders. It just may not be a video this time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.